Hi, I'm Maya, a clinical psychologist in the making, and today I'll share my experience of working as a model at the age of 17 and what I think of it now. For as long as I can remember myself, I was told by the people around me that I should become a model. I was a very tall kid, very often the tallest in the class, and people made assumptions that that would be a great career path for me. I happily accepted it because the idea of a glamorous, luxurious, narcissistically pleasant life, full of experiences and travels was a great option. This definitely became a dream of mine. I loved and followed all of the Victoria's Secret angels at the moment and dreamed of becoming an angel. I manifested and visualized how my career would go. Around the age of 14, I started to apply to different modeling agencies, but nevertheless, I didn't hear anything from around 20 or 25 agencies that I applied to. I finally found the one. After a first impression meeting, I was told that I had to lose a little bit of weight to fit the criteria of the 90-60-90, and that it was actually safer to be even skinnier than those dimensions because that was the great bloom of an era where skinny and extremely thin models were the best. Besides that, on the same meeting, I got labeled as a conventionally pretty girl and that I had nothing unique or extraordinary about me in terms of my appearance, of course, because I didn't have unique face features, any freckles, gap between my front teeth, or a unique hair color or a haircut. So I was told that it would be a little bit harder for me than for other girls to get the jobs because I was just conventionally pretty and there was nothing else to add to that mixture. Around the age of 17, I finally got my first contract and went to the modeling agency in Milan and worked there for about 2.5 to 3 months. I wish I knew before that that would be the place where my mental health went absolutely down to the ground. Looking back at it now, I'm sure that that was one of the hardest and darkest periods of my life. Working as a model, from my personal experience, was about being constantly compared to other girls, standing in long lines with people who are just like you, desperate to be chosen, to finally earn money from it, and the lack of normal nutrition, sleep, constant comments about your face, your body, it all influences you a lot more than you think, especially when you're a young person who doesn't have enough of life experience to understand what's good and what's bad, what's appropriate and what's not. I remember getting unpleasant messages from my modeling agency when they saw an Instagram story of mine where I was eating gelato, the Italian ice cream. They mentioned that it is not something you eat if you want to get skinnier or be skinny. And the funniest thing is, while eating ice cream in that video, I said, I am so hungry that this ice cream is not enough. During that time, I felt very lonely. As you understand, it was not an easy place to build relationships or friendships because everyone was constantly competing against each other. Another topic that I need to cover is there is a common misconception that modeling and escort are the same thing. And during that time, in Milan, I understood why. There were many so-called escort agents, young men who were waiting at the popular casting spots and coming up to girls and offering them to go on yacht trips, private parties, or clubs. I never considered escort the kind of profession that is good and appropriate and fine. I'm so grateful now that I stayed away from those situations and that I protected the last pieces of my broken self-esteem at that moment. During the middle of my trip, I started to develop the signs of an eating disorder. I felt lonely, as I said, very insecure, very unsafe, absolutely lost generally in life and in the profession that I've chosen. I started to just simply compensate it with food. I was eating healthy stuff. I was eating lots of fruits, lots of nuts, because I thought that if I'm eating healthy, I will not gain. After returning from Milan, during the course of a year, I gained around 15 kilograms. It may not sound a lot, but for me, it was a completely change in my look, in the way that I felt myself in my body, and it devastated me for a long time. For someone who's watching this and thinking, well, girl, that job is just not for you. I completely agree. That is the reason why after that 3 months in Milan, I decided that I'm never going to be working as a model ever again. And that's why I'm sharing it with you here. Just so you know that the reality of life is this. It's not only being beautiful, dolled up with makeup and hair on somewhere on the billboard. I wouldn't say that the experience was bad, but I definitely broke during that time. And it was a good break, understanding now, because it built me in the person that I am. It it made my life choices and my values a lot more concrete than it were, but I would not wish the life that I had during that time to anyone else. I appreciate anyone who listened until this part. Let me know what you think in the comments below. For more useful psychology content and mental health content, I invite you to follow my channel. Thank you for your time. I'll see you in my next upcoming video. Bye!